And welcome back, everyone, to part 3 of What If Deku, Izuku Midoriya had eaten a devil fruit, the Goro Goro no Mi, or Rumble Rumble Fruit edition. Last time, he came out on top in the sports festival. You can't stop the man of lightning. He is by and large one of the strongest people in My Hero right now, and he only just got one for all. But the question did come up that I had to stop and think of. Who is he going to be doing the work study with? I can never remember. Is that the internship or the work study? One or the other. Anyway, I think it's the internship. Anyway, who is he going to kind of be being shadowing is what he's going to be doing. Now, I asked the question if Gran Torino would still be the guy who is interested in Midoriya. Now, some people said that. Now, a lot of people brought up that Gran Torino is the one who contacted All Might because he saw Midoriya on the TV, used One for All. And that's why I was like, yeah, I need to see how this new successor is. Midoriya did use One for All here. And I think you can make an argument that when he's using, say, One for All, when using his lightning, you can notice it because we know One for All does have kind of a multicolor scheme, like the rainbow-like energy that permeates through it to a certain degree. Especially when you see, like, the torch being passed between user to user and that whole, like, do your best, Toshinori. But, yeah, so I could maybe see the argument that Gran Torino notices it and says, I'm going to have to give All Might a call. And just to be sure about it, just to be certain about his suspicion. So there is a possibility. But as a lot of people said, it would make more sense that someone who has, like, electrical powers or energy manipulation powers and knows how to do it properly would want to have Izuku under their wing. And maybe a lot of other heroes would probably want that too, because he did come out as #1 in the sports festival. He didn't have to injure himself at all to do it. The problem with that, though, is that when you take Endeavor out of the equation, because fire is energy, it's a type of plasma, and same with lightning, different form of plasma. When you take Endeavor out of the equation, you really, don't have a lot of energy manipulating heroes out there. It's particularly pro heroes. You have, I'm talking about people who you like go to the internship or work study for, not like interns, not like, I can't remember the name of the fire chick with the green hair that interns at Endeavors, or sidekicks at Endeavors, but she doesn't count. Like actual energy manipulation quirks on this scale, or even just in general, actually aren't all that common. Yeah, Kaminari's got lightning capabilities, but his lightning capabilities are weak. They're child's play. It's a flashlight compared to what Midoriya does. There are plenty of fire-esque quirks out there to some degree, or quirks that have a fire-esque element, sure, but this wouldn't really qualify at all. Straight energy. Nidori has an energy-based quirk. We know All for One took an energy-based quirk. We saw that in the later parts of the war. Yeah, energy-based quirks, though, are actually not very common. That we see more of them than, I was about to say we see more of them in teleportation, but, do we? But, I guess if you want to count dark energy, you could mention Tokayame. But, yeah, like, again, straight energy-based quirks, or somebody can produce an energy-based attack, are very rare in My Hero. I'd say they're almost as rare as teleportation quirks, but clearly not quite as rare. So, yeah, I would say there usually isn't a good fit for that type of person to train him. Now, I can see Endeavor also wanting to mentor Izuku for whatever. He's like, you beat my son Shoto. Interesting. I want to see what you can do, boy. But that still begs the question of Gran Torino. Do I think Gran Torino is the more likely candidate over Endeavor here? I'll say this. For the sake of the story, because I do have a plot reason for it, a story reason for it, I'll lean more with Gran Torino, noticing the effects, like the multicolor effects of One for All in Midoriya's lightning. It's like, and then talking to Toshinori and knowing the truth. So Deku, obviously, or Deku, by the way, it was Deku, a combination of Rai, lightning, And Deku useless. So Red Deku is his name, his hair name. And yeah, so first off, he creates his hearing. Bakugo's just pissed off with him, like more so than ever. Like he's just straight out now lost to Midoriya, who's clearly been taking it a little easy on him. It's like, yeah, Deku, right? He's like, you useless little firebug. It's like, oh, come on. But then he goes, meets Gran Torino. Toshinori, what? It's like, oh man, this guy's lost. Show me your one for all. Let me see what you can do. What? This guy's suddenly changed. Now. I was like, look, I'm sorry, I need to go. And then I said, come at me, you neophyte. What? All right, fine. I'm told you're pretty fast with that quirk of yours. I'm curious to see how fast you are. And Deku maybe like powers up. Like, no, not like that. What? I know you're fast with your quirk. In fact, you probably would beat me pretty soundly with your quirk from what I can see. But I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in what you can do with your one for all. Well, I mean, All Might, and before he explains, it's like, yes, All Might explained. You can actually use all 100% of one for all when you're using your lightning form. Your body, because your body becomes lightning, it's not subjugated to the negative effects of one for all, without effects of the quirk. However, that's not what I want to train you on. I want to train you to actually use your use your quirk without using your lightning. Use one for all without your quirk. It's like, but doesn't that? There's got to be a point, kid, where you might meet a hero, a villain who's going to have a ability to absorb energy or electricity, or perhaps they can conduct electricity and redirect it. Perhaps they're going to be completely immune, have a rubber-based quirk like an insulator. Your quirk, as powerful as it is, isn't infallible. So we need to strengthen your body up to do it. Now you've been and Midoriya doesn't have an answer for that. He's like, yeah, that makes sense. I was like, okay, well then, and so how much? So you can use 100% while using your quirk. What about without it? Well, and he like tries. Luckily, he knows how to constantly use his energy, so he said maybe tries. He luckily also knows the feeling of it, so he can just kind of use full cowling at this point. It's like full cowling. 1, 2, 3. All right, 3 seems to be your limit, kid. He's like just struggling because he didn't get the workout for one for all here. So at best, even though he's in shape and has started to really work out, he's at best maybe he can handle 3%, and that might be pushing it. It's like, now let's see what you got. Midoriya just starts getting his ass kicked by Gran Torino, and eventually he just it's like, that's not good. I suppose we're gonna have to get names. No, it's fine. And then just turns and zaps around a little bit. Oh God. Let's see. Wait, what? It's like, oh yeah. Sorry. I guess I should have told you that. I mean, because I can turn my body into lightning, it pretty much just resets any injury I get in my base form. And he's like, unbelievable. He has a built-in recovery. And he kind of grins. She's like, this is going to make training a lot easier. And so, all right, boy, let's see what you got. And so he's like, Midoriya is just getting tortured. Eventually, given the amount of time he spends there, he's at least comparable with like a 3% level of power with it. Now, another thing I want to bring up is the fact that the vestiges would not be showing up and to basically give him their quirks automatically here. It was right around the 20% range, where 15 to 20%, where you're starting doing the air gusts, that the first user showed up and Banjo showed up. But the thing is, Midoriya's always been able to access 100% of it. He's just never been able to comfortably use it. Every time he's broken a limb, he's using 100% of one for all. And they never showed up. So I don't think that's how that would work. Because you add all their quirks onto super strength, speed, durability, and then this. There's not a son of a bitch on this planet that could touch him. All for one just gonna come up to, I am the Demon King! I am the bear hug! Here, let me just goes down his throat, blows him up from the inside. No joke! He could do that with this quirk. This is a double fruit. That's how messed up this fruit's power is. Like, it is ridiculous. But we're hardly there yet. By the way, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen because Midoriya is not that callous, cold, or inhuman, but I'm saying he could do it. So you would also then get obviously the Ida stuff going with the hero killer Stain, and obviously the attacks on the city with the Nomus. Ida finds Stain, and Midoriya goes looking for Ida, and luckily he literally zaps there right after Ida gets like tagged, and just because he's literally traveling around as fast as he can, because he's lightning, he's literally moving that fast. It's like, another kid. It's like, get out of here, Midori. This is my fight. I've got a lot to say to you, Ida, but right now's not the time. A real hero will never give up on his friend and never leave someone behind. You got potential, kid. Now, unfortunately for Stain, Midoriya is the worst type of opponent for him to fight here, because Midoriya just turns his body into lightning, and lightning is conducted by metal. And what does Stain use? Yes, plastic. You're right. But no, all of his weapons are metal. His knives, everything. He's literally it's like him sticking his knife in a bug zapper times 1,000. It's like, and he just what the, and just comes in again. Just, it must be his quirk. Well, I guess I'll have to just come in. Midoriya just kind of stands there. He's still nervous, but it's like, he can't hurt me. He has to just use his knife. So Midoriya's just like, all right, then I'll let you. You can have a free shot. It's like, you're cocky, hero. No, I just know my power better than you do. It's like, this quirk's lightning based. I can't hit him. And all of a sudden, Midoriya just boom, just takes him. Midoriya kind of single-handedly takes down Stain. Just human taser, muscle seize up. And so Midoriya takes the Nomu, though, does grab him because of the natures of the Nomus. Some of them might have like an insulation type quirk. I mean, they are kind of rubbery looking. So maybe Midoriya tries to shock it, and it doesn't really affect it. I can't hurt this guy as much. And then Stain comes in. Says, yeah, no. No. What? You're not. It's not your time yet, kid. And obviously Endeavor shows up. Hero killers. Endeavor, come at me, you fakes. I'll take you all on. None of you are worthy. Only one is worthy. All might is worthy. And Midoriya just shocks him again. And so, yeah, Midoriya could take that. I am interested down the road when Midoriya is getting, say, abilities that aren't as overpowered as, say, Kurama or this, or even being like Lobo's kid. Because, again, for the world he's in, these type of abilities are kind of broken. So, obviously, Midoriya shows off a little bit of what he's learned. He's also probably made some notes about using his quirk for where the, the department, hero equipment, the people who make the equipment and the weapons and stuff like that for the heroes. Because his suit, while fine, is not really taking advantage of his quirk, and Midoriya has quickly realized that. Still, though, you have the graduation exam, where All Might and Bakugo Bakugo and Deku face off. Bakugo's just like, I'll take care of this myself. It's like, come on, no, we gotta think of a strategy. And, Bakugo, just on reflex, swipes him. And Midoriya knows, he actually takes that, what? It's like, it was like, you. It's like, what the? By the way, someone did point out one good fact about Bakugo. Because another person has asked a long time ago, doesn't it work on his whole body, his quirk? And the answer is no. It only comes from his palms, Bakugo's quirk. But what someone did actually point out, which is kind of true, is that Deku is actually even a worse opponent for Bakugo than initially thought, because in theory he could light the nitroglycerin like sweat on his palms. So he hits Deku, who actually gets hit, and Bakugo's like, you. Why did you block it? Because if I had blocked you would have gotten shocked, and that would have weakened us. It's like, I don't need your help. It's like, this is why we can't ever get along, you idiot, because you don't listen. It's like, all right, that's fair. A lover's quarrel, I see. Oh, come on, don't say that. All Might comes down, and he blinds Midoriya out, surprisingly, because they're in a mock town. He pulled some power lines. Granted, there's probably no real electricity going through them. So he pulls some power lines. They're still rubber. He actually he's like, what? That's right. He just ties it up. Rubber, Midoriya. Perfect insulator for your quack. No, then. Bakugo tries to take him on. Midoriya is able to kind of zap out of there. Comes in, boom, blast All Might. And All Might. By the way, All for One, One for All does strengthen your quirk also. So Midoriya's already insane power is honestly amped by One for All. So he just zaps him. Not bad, Midoriya, not bad. Ultimately, Deku says we got to work together. Bakugo's like, just shut up, I hate this. And obviously, Midoriya, Bakugo attacks. It's like, is that really the best you could? And Midoriya's got both the gauntlet, but also boom, just lays into All Might, who is still strong enough to take the head. I mean, he's like, not bad at all. And Bakugo like tries to holds off Midoriya as best he can, or holds off All Might for Midoriya as best he can. He does comment that it's like, you could be going faster. If I go fast, yeah, I mean, I could theoretically carry you, but you won't agree to that. Besides, I can turn into lightning, but you can't turn into lightning. So I can't necessarily move as fast with you, and you can't move at those speeds without insane risk to yourself. That is a drawback of the quirk when you think about it. He can move at the speed of lightning, no issue. But other people can't necessarily do that. That would be a very big problem for them. That could literally destroy someone's body if he ends up, just the sheer force of that speed. So it's not like he can just straight teleport. If he could teleport, it wouldn't be a big issue. So yeah. And he still would have to transform his body into lightning to travel that fast. Yeah, in theory, he can transform parts of his body for quick little feats of speed. But to do the lightning thing, he has to literally turn into lightning and go back and forth. Still, though, ultimately comes down to Deku just like, all for one, 40%! Which just blasts All Might again. Those two really are something else. And so, Bakugo's needing rest. Midoriya's watching the rest of the fights. They all pass. Now, here's a problem right now. It's not for Midoriya. They go to the mall. They're all having fun. And they say, hey, you were that kid from the sports ball. You're the one who won, right? Midoriya, right? Hey, we haven't met since that time back in the USJ. It's like, it's you. Unfortunately, him just threatening Midoriya means jack shit. It's like, let's get some tea, talk. It's like, why should I? It's like, because otherwise I'm going to. And then Midoriya just. It's like, and it's like, police. It's like, hello, police. It's like, oh, you're such an idiot. Now, to be fair though, would Shigaraki be this stupid to try to do this? Because he's seen what Midoriya can do. He actually probably wouldn't go about doing it. Because if he does that, he's incarcerated. Done. Most of the story ends. Unless he's able to get out, which, no, they're going to keep his hands nice and bound so he can't, do something like this. Or literally keep his hands like this most of the time. Boy means they're going to make it so he can't use his quirk. And, yeah, if he was stupid enough to do that, there's nothing to stop Midoriya from taking his ass out. I mean, he could theoretically just straight up kill him, but he's not going to do that. But he could literally just knock his ass out, and then there you go. And fortunately, Shigaraki, while he's very single-minded, he isn't an idiot. And Kurogiri would also probably say, that's probably not a good idea. So, I don't know how he would find his, conviction or whatever, but he probably does it maybe through watching and hearing stories about this kid, seeing what his conviction is, maybe whatever. I don't know. I'm certain he could find it. So really, he just has a nice day at the mall with his friends. Has a pseudo date that's not a date, whatever. And then we go into the training arc. And yeah, I mean, Midoriya is just wrecking through these dirt golems without too much, rock golems without too much difficulty, although ground, as they say, ground electricity will nullify a certain amount of electricity. So these things are a little bit tougher for Midoriya to handle, but he's still able to handle them. Koda comes in, still punches him in the nads, like, what little shit are you? Koda, I don't care your mom or dad are dead. Hey, come here. How did that feel? Good? No. I mean, you do it to me, I do it to you. That's the way this works. Or punt, like that. Yeah, you always say, well, he can turn his body to lightning. It's not to the point where it's instinctually like an instinctual reflex yet. He still, on some level, has to consciously turn into lightning. Because he doesn't have things like observation hockey in this world. He doesn't have that. So he does. It's still not like true instinctual. It took years and years for the Logia users in Bleach to be able to do that on instinct. Midoriya is not there yet, so he's still he wasn't expecting this kid to just punch him either. So yeah, after that though, Midoriya and everyone begins their training. Now Midoriya's training, I think, would be just like learning to use different applications of his quirk. Particularly the thing that's going to be part of his like hero gear later on is metal trinkets, similar to what Kaminari uses. Like metal balls or a metal staff or something like that. Just learning to bouncing, and even learning to magnetize things. Like he needs more metal on. If he realizes if he has more metal on him, he would actually, in theory, be able to fly. Because now can fly to some degree. It's not true flight per se, but he can move like he's flying. And if you use magnetism in the right way, you can fly. You can charge up metal with enough electricity that it has a magnetic charge. Hence electromagnetism. So Midoriya has been practicing with these types of items. Later on, though, obviously Muscular would come, attack quota. I got my quota, kid. I get attack Kota. And Midoriya's there. All for one. 100%. It's like, what? And he just, blasts. Just, and his muscles seize because he has muscle still. And just, is that really the best you got, kid? And you smash him. Midoriya! It's like, no, not quite. Why can't I hit you? And all of a sudden, Midoriya's like, 100% galvanic cannon! Poof! He just keeps blasting him until his muscles give out. Like, they just can't function right. He's wrecked his nervous system. Like, damn it. And so it's like, we got to get you out of here, Kota. Come on. And he does go into. He's also probably been training a little bit with his quirks, so working out, all that. So he's still probably at 3%, but now it's more of a comfortable 3%. So he gets Kota out of there. Obviously, Aizawa sees him. Did you have to fight then? Yeah, I did. He's up on the ridge. Very well then. And so obviously Midoriya is helping Kota. Now, the big thing here is Midoriya probably could save Bakugo, if we're being honest. But if I remember correctly, it wasn't the fact that he got cut. It was like a swap thing. It was more that they had Bakugo and Bakugo said, "Don't follow me." And Midoriya is about to move, and he says like, "Don't you follow me, you idiot." And so I think that's probably how that would go down. All Might and One for All would still have their All Might and All for One. God, I hate when I do that. Still add their rematch. Now, All Might here is only recently without One for All. So he probably can last a lot longer in that fight than he did in the original. He'd probably either burn himself out like he did originally or be on his last legs. And probably the next time he goes hero would be the last time he could do it. But because of that, he'd probably be able to eat All for One a bit easier in this version. Just because he's got more time on him. Otherwise, and no, it's your turn. Deku's like, so, yeah, ultimately it would come down. It would then come to the whole making your signature, move type course. Like I said, Midoriya's now he's learning to magnetize metal, basically kind of being a pseudo Magneto a little bit. He's learning to kind of fly. He's got metal insoles on his he already had them, but he's now got more metal insoles on his shoes. He's also probably up to 4% on One for All. So he's now learning to kind of whoa, okay, we can do this. We can do this. He's kind of Iron Manning it a little bit. He's got basically metal now kind of all throughout his suit a little bit. When you get to the proficiency license exams, I mean, Midoriya is not going to be hit at all. Toga probably gets one in because he wasn't expecting her, but then when he knows she's coming in, he just it's like, what the? It's like, sorry, not going to be able to tag you, or you're not going to be able to tag me again. Should note, Toga probably doesn't quite have the same level of obsession here with Midoriya because she never saw him all bloodied up, because he doesn't get bloodied up really at all. So she still probably finds him interesting. It's not the same obsession here, and because he's just like standing there, kind of taking, it's like, okay, lightning, ball, okay, good, there you go. And with the hero course, he's able to just rush in, save people as best he can. So, come on, I got you. And then he's learning to rotate between his one for all and his standard quirk, no problem. Unfortunately for rescue, it's really, I can zip in, rush out, and to be fair, I don't know if Deku can slow down the level of speed he's at, because he is living lightning. Lightning moves at a speed that I'm not sure you can adjust. But maybe that's another thing he is learning to do, is adjust his speed accordingly. So Midoriya just, or he's just learning to use bursts of speed, like electrifying his feet, just like he's there. They're there in a few seconds. It's like, don't worry, you're gonna be okay. And so he's kind of like rushing back, almost doing a little flash sort of thing here. Occasionally, if he has to like melt metal, just okay, stand back, zzz, like that, or superheat metal and just melt it, or using his new more magnetic capabilities to move shifting metal around. He's able to easily take care of the grunts on his end. Comes in, attacks Gang Orca. Obviously, he's not going to try to electrify him, because that's like, he's not trying to kill him, he's just trying to stop him, and just boom. And really, that's where we're going to leave off, because the next part would be Bakugo and Midoriya's fight. And I'm not 100% sure that happens here. Bakugo probably still very much not loving Midoriya as a person right now, but there's little he can do about it, the little arrogant shit. So we'll have to see what I decide to do on Thursday, because this is the week of What If coming up. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one.